Not just, you know, run in there with your blinders on and just want to say, oh, it's going to be my way or no way. Yeah, it's got to work both ways, and that's the way it should work. Am I correct? Is it, you know, is it one way or both ways? It's a two-way street, not a one-way street.
I think a 6 months extension encourages both sides to move forward.
I see your point on it, and, you know, it's fine. Everybody has a different opinion. Ernie?
Yes, Ernie Smith, Silverbrook Drive. I'm a member of the Planning Commission, and I agree with what Chuck, our chairman, said, and Phil Smith, our secretary, said. And the 6 months, I thought, really was a date that, and maybe I misunderstand things, and I've worked with extensions in government before. And extensions come, and the developer's asking for 9. Whether it's 6 as the Planning Commission allowed, or 9 as the developer wants, they can both be wrong. I mean, we could get to a point where the developer comes back to us and he's asking for an extension of 6 months. I don't think when I voted for that 6 months was an absolute deadline. Maybe I'm wrong. But in any case, an extension, the developer right now is asking for 9. If you were to give him 9, he could be coming back later on and say, hey, I'm at 9. You gave me from 6 months to 9, but I'm short. I need more time. Is that means that everything stops then? And even though everybody's moving ahead with good intentions, you all of a sudden cancel the whole project? When, you know, there's been money that's been out there guaranteed, put forward, and somebody's trying to move ahead with a project. So whether it was 6 months with us, I was, you know, not, you know, in government, things aren't perfect like this when you're doing a development. And I can see the pitfalls of both sides, really. But at the same time, I'm amenable looking to the future that you have to grant extensions sometimes. And an extension is purely an extension. Thank you.
Warren Jacobs, Fulmer Road. Whether it's 6 months or 9, it's not realistic that they're going to be able to finish it in that amount of time. They're going to have to come back and ask for another extension. So what difference does it even make?
Maybe it's 6 or 9. I follow. Okay. We have a motion on the board. It's second. We want to vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Okay. The second item I had is the lasting ordinance. I introduced this at the last meeting, and then I took into account the suggestions or revisions and circulated that. So if I can highlight the revisions, at section 2, I added a sentence whereby the township exempts itself from the ordinance. This came as a result of talking to Carol about a project that's out there, and it made sense to exempt yourself so the township doesn't have to come apply to the township. However, if it makes sense to you, I do have it where the township has to comply with section 6 about notifications and section 7 about lasting protocols. So really the township will comply with the meat of this, providing notice to neighbors, etc.
I'm sorry, is this because the township itself would not be the contractor, we would contract somebody else who would then have to comply?
No, I'm envisioning that the contractor would be it'd be a master-servant relationship, so the servant would only have to do what the master would have to do, that the township would not have to comply, the contractor would not have to comply, except for the notification section and the protocol section.
Not the pre-blast survey?
Right. Double check that.
That's 5.
That's 5, correct. Although we could include that if you like.
Well, we can include that here, or we can write that into the contract documents with a slightly smaller scope for a public works project. I think when you were looking at this ordinance, you were envisioning something like was happening over on the Arcadia site, where there's a blast and the residents are pretty far away. If we do 1,500 feet, everybody within 1,500 feet of a piece of road where somebody might have to blast, we're really going to be stretching out far. So maybe we want to put in the specifications for the bidder, what that range is, and it might be a little less burdensome than 1,500 feet. It's going to be a different scenario.
So you're saying less?
Well, she's saying do not have Section 5 apply to the township, you can address that case by case in the bid docs.
That's correct.
Depending on the site and who's around them. That makes sense.
Okay. And then in Section 4, I revised the amount of insurance as was discussed from 2 million, or I think it might even be 1 million, to 2 million per occurrence, 4 million in the aggregate. In Section 5, I added 2 sentences at Carol's suggestion. The first tells the applicant what is required in terms of the pre-blast survey, and the second addresses what happens with the test report. It has to come to the township, has to go to the homeowners. Makes sense. Section 6, I used the 3,000 feet for distance and clarified how they're supposed to provide notice. We talked about that at the last meeting. I also note that I have this, at least as presently drafted, as becoming a new chapter in your ordinance, Chapter 78. I just picked that out of the air. But as opposed to having this blasting ordinance part of your salary. So there's pluses and minuses. You have it part of the salary, now you have to advertise twice, all the hearings and all that goes with that. But you can waive certain provisions in the context of an applicant coming forward. If you have it separately, I have the argument that this was adopted pursuant to the general police powers of the township. And what that means is, for somebody like Melbourne Hills, we have a good argument that it applies to them, as opposed to us if it's under the umbrella of Saldo. They have the argument that, hey, you have to look at the ordinances as they existed back when we applied. So this gives you greater leeway to have this separate apart from the Saldo. Okay?
I just had one question. There's a lot of information about notification. What are our requirements to notify residents?
Okay, so we're requiring that the blasting contractor, subcontractor.
No, but my question is, what is the township required to do in terms of notifying people? Should that be in here, or we just leave it up to our manager to make those verifications?
In terms of the township actually blasting?
No, in
No,
terms of the
it's
township
notifying
notifying people.
Oh,
It's really
Hey,
the contract.
It's on the burden's on the contractor, correct,
okay.
for the applicant. Right, so we don't have a requirement per se. Now, in reality, you may well turn around and ask Mark to put it on the website.
Okay.
No, we don't have a requirement for the
Okay,
township.
thank you.
So it requires a motion, correct?
Yes, at this point, if you don't have any questions and you don't want to make any other changes, this would be a motion to authorize advertising of the ordinance as presented.
I will move on that motion.
I'll second.
Any questions? Yes.
Focus on delivery. I don't know how much volume or strength, whatever is involved with the blasting for making developments as opposed to a quarry. But I'm wondering about well casings of surrounding homes that could be cracked. Is there anything in there to protect the homeowner?
I can address that. There is. The solicitor provided a very complete ordinance. The ordinance requires a pre-blasting survey where wells get tested for turbidity and bacteria, and then they can be tested again after blasting to see if there's a change. So if you're on well water and there were a blast in the vicinity of your home, and the well water changes, you've got proof that way. They have to provide the test to you, the pre-blasting test. So you've got proof then of cause and effect.
And then, as a follow-up to that then, whose responsibility to pay for that well being repaired?
That would be falling on the blaster. And that's what the insurance is there to make sure that that's covered.
Any other questions? Bill?
Don't go over 107 more. Did it go from 1 million to 2 million?
2 million per occurrence, 4 million in the aggregate.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Not? The vote? Aye.
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 Right, and this is ordinance number, I don't think we have that yet. We'll advertise it and then we'll come back back and get the ordinance number once it's been advertised, and present that to you for formal passage. And with that, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Planning Commission.
I'll do the planning commission and the comp plan together. Sorry. Planning commission met November 21st, last month. And we discussed, first of all, we gave a letter of support for a DCED grant for more camera inspection work. We discussed at length the Melbourne Hill project, which we just discussed at length again. And you heard the approvals earlier, or recommendations, I should say, that came from the Planning Commission in terms of sewering options using a combination of gravity and grinder pump, and also a recommendation based on the extension. We also let's see here. We also discussed the zoning hearing board application for 23 Walnut, and the Planning Commission is in support of the applicant's request to rebuild their home, slightly larger home, a larger home, and it will be a little bit further away from the creek, which is a good thing. And the last thing we talked about were some ongoing revisions to our landscape ordinance, had to do with lists of trees, appropriate lists for appropriate locations. You don't want to plant a large tree underneath power lines, and also planting standards, and that is still a work in progress. On our comprehensive plan meeting, we talked...
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Sure.
About the landscaping ordinance update? When do you expect to have that ready to move forward?
I need to speak with Warren about that.
When do you expect to have that ready to
Well, no, I mean, I don't even know whether he's had a chance to look at it.
Like by the next month's meeting?
I promised that I'd go over the county's revision and come up with something by the next meeting.
I'm envisioning that we will meet in December, Planning Commission. And my hope is that we're close enough
Yes.
to finish that.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some of these ordinances that are relevant to developers updated
Right.
sooner rather than later.
And our comprehensive plan meeting, we talked about road networks in the township. That discussion will continue in January. We're not meeting this month, taking a month off to get some things together. And so our next meeting will be the second week in January, second Thursday in January at 6:30 in this location. That's it.
Thank you. Any questions for Chuck? Park and Rec.
The Park Board was honored to receive a $1,000 donation from Dunkin' Donuts on their grand opening November 9th. So a nice start to our fundraising for the coming year for our projects. On the 24th, we had a very successful invasive plant removal work project at Cuddy. We had around 15 to 17 people showed up. 18?
15 signed up, 18 showed up.
18 showed up. We had some extra showed up.
I guess people like the weather.
Good response. It was not nice weather at all, but everyone persevered. We got a lot done. We really made a real good hit on it. And everyone persisted, and we were getting sheets sleeted on and everything else. It was wonderful. But special thanks to Warren for his generous donation of the chipper and a work crew in support of us, and also for sharing your barbecue skills for afterwards and providing lunch. But it was a good work project. We got a lot done. We have a lot more to do at Cuddy Park. We will be doing more of these work projects to keep removing the invasives, but we got a good dent in it to start. As discussed and approved during the last work session, we have applied for the PICO Green Regions bonus grant that's being offered. because of their 15-year anniversary. We have applied for a grant for $5,200 for up to 10 trees. That's 2 to 2.5-inch trunk size. The grant pays only for tree planting. It will pay for the purchase and delivery of the trees, also assist from the nursery for planting. We envision doing a public planting exercise with these. Should we get this grant, we want to do a public planting educational exercise with it, using volunteers, use the opportunity to get the trees planted, but also do some training in proper tree maintenance, proper planting techniques, and proper care of trees. So hopefully we'll get the grant. There's no actual date, but they do expect to pretty rapidly turn these around, so we should know within a month, month and a half, whether or not we get the grant. And I do want to thank our crack painting crew, our painting hangers. Tom Manning and Mark Hudson did a stellar job. Good team work there. I didn't have to touch my drill driver at all, so thank you. And that's it.
We had a lot of help. They were the eyes, they were just the labor.
And I do think they are absorbing some of the sounding.
I do too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Is there any questions for Pam?
Oh, sorry, I have a question. Are there any upcoming events for the park board?
Not at this point, not for the rest of the year. We're busy planning projects for next year. Our next thing we're working on is we will be going out for donations at the end of this year.
Dan?
Dan Ward, Patch Road. Mark, I thought you and Pam discussed the fact that it was supposed to be a $10,000 grant.
We looked at that, the paperwork that I had was just the initial letter, and in that it said 10,000. She had the official document there, so we talked afterwards and worked it out. And, it looks like they updated the number a little bit again, but it's good.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Just clarifying. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on. Environmental advisory.
I'll do that.
Warren?
The Environmental Advisory Council met last Monday, when did we meet? I forget. I get all my meetings mixed up. But I need to announce that our next meeting is December 23rd. And the only thing that we really have scheduled is we're going to probably do our first presentation next month in conjunction with the January 27th meeting date. And that is going to be on stormwater. We're going to have hopefully presenters from the County Soil Conservation. We're planning to make some type of an educational brochure to talk about what the EAC does, so we have something for when we have township events, different things to let the public know what we do. And we're also hoping to have the supervisors approve allowing us to have an email address that we can monitor for township residents to contact somebody, the council through somebody to monitor the web address, like when members of the public have questions about the environmental, any kind of environmental concerns. And that's about it. Once again, the next meeting is December 23rd.
23rd, that would be right before Christmas, December?
Right.
Wow. Okay. Any other questions for Warren? If not, new business? Any new business? Public comment? Yes.
Jim Schmidt, Silverbrook Drive. I would like to thank Terry Sachs and Chuck Lighty for serving as supervisors for the township, and I think you deserve a round of applause.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Bob?
Bob Burns, Zubenville Road. This question, I guess, goes to Carol for right now. Carol, over at the Ragusa Arcadia aid station. There's two inlets on the Zieglerville Road that go across underneath the road with a concrete pipe. The invert's below grade, so there's like a 3 foot by 3 foot sump there. And right now, I went over tonight around 4 o'clock and took a picture of it. The pipe underneath the road is completely full of water. And I looked at both inlets across the street, both inlets are completely full of water. So with the pipe invert being 2 feet to 3 feet below grade, the water has to seep up to that level and spill across onto Mr. Grimley's property. So my concern is, I'm going to let Mr. Grimley talk for himself, but my concern is if we have two inlets that right now are supposed to be designed with 2 to 3 foot sump in them, there's only 8 inches available right now. And if that freezes along with the pipe going underneath the road, there's no capacity in the pipe right now. So what's the township going to do about this?
Well, thank you for bringing the question. The inlet elevation actually corresponded, as I recall, the outflow pipe elevation corresponded to what was there before, which was also in sump. I understand that the site superintendent had been in touch with the property owner. He first talked to him earlier this year about working with the property owner on extending that waterway a little further into the property and working together on that. And when I spoke with the site superintendent about 2 weeks ago, that is still on his to-do list. Yeah, that discharge was sumped in the original road before Ragusa started development, and we're working with the existing conditions.
I'm concerned about the freezing conditions. You know, it's going to freeze from now through the rest of the winter.
Yeah, the inlets actually have the silt bags in them right now, which is keeping things from going all the way through. And Conservation District requires them to remain in place until all contributing areas stabilize. So those silt bags are actually a little bit of a challenge for us too. In each of my visits out there, all the water has been below road level, but I can take a look at that again on my next trip through. Thank you.
Yeah, the two inlets they're about 8 to 10 inches down from the tops of the grates, but the pipe, the concrete pipe that's going underneath the road is full capacity, all the way over to, you know, to the other side of the road on Mr. Kerman's property. I don't want to speak for him. He's got his own things that he wants to take care of, or how needs to be taken care of, or whatever. That, you know, he couldn't be here tonight, but.
But you're right, Bob. It's the head that's pushing it through right now. I don't disagree. And I know the superintendent is talking to the property owner about improving that situation in the future.
Okay, and then a couple of months ago, I had asked about increasing the retainage on that project. And I believe either Mark or you were going to talk to each other, you're going to figure it out, whether it was worth doing it or not worth doing it or whatever. So where do we stand with increasing the retainage by 10% since they're over